Hello and welcome to Three Questions with. Got my buddy Paul Keenan with us from the Super Patch Company. Paul, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Kevin. Good to see you.
So, Paul, let's just jump right at it. So, tell me a little bit about Super Patch Company. What do you do?
Well, I have a friend of mine named Steve Schultz, and he and I are friends. He lives in Milwaukee, and of course, he's a Bucks fan, and I live around Boston, so I'm a Celtics fan,
Yep.
And so we stayed in touch. I met him about 10 years ago. So I called him up just to say, hey, what are you doing? So he put it to me this way, and this is how I'm gonna relate the story. He says, I'm in the Super Patch business. I said, what is that? So he said, well, first it's gonna sound like magic, and it's gonna sound like I'm selling snake oil off the side of a truck. Then you're gonna want to hang up. So he started telling me about it, and while we were talking, I said, Steve, is this the part where I want to hang up or what? It just sounded bananas to me, and so I said, well, how does it work? He said, well, I don't know if you can see that, you just put a patch on your arm.
Yep.
And he said, is everything, you have any issues about it? I said, well, my knee hurts when I walk. I said, but if I was a car, I would have been in a junkyard 50 years already. So a little ache in my knee didn't seem like a bad thing, So he says, well, I'm going to send you a patch called the Liberty Patch. All right. So he sends it out, and I put it on. And I put it on in the morning. In the middle of the afternoon, I'm out walking, and I realized the ache in my knee was not there. So this is the part that sounds like magic and mystery, and because up until that point, every noontime I took 2 Tylenol, because not only did my knee hurt then my neck hurt, and I had a slight headache, and I haven't had Tylenol for over 12 weeks, none.
Wow.
So the Liberty Patch really worked for me, and as an aside, I had an irregular heartbeat, and I went through some surgery, corrected it. Then I had another thing done, and the irregular heartbeat came back, and I was like, "Oh my God, what is this?" Then I noticed after a day, 2, 3, or 4, I forget how many, the heartbeat was beating normal.
Wow.
So I went on. Where else would I go for my information? I went to YouTube, and I found that one of the possibilities that the Liberty Patch can provide is it can correct an irregular heartbeat. Now, that was approximately 10 weeks ago.
Yep.
My heart's been beating normal ever since. So does it work in every case? No. But neither does surgery, drugs, alcohol. Maybe if you mix them all together, it might work. I don't know. But for me, it's worked, and that's been my experience. They come in a package they look like this.
Yep.
Super Patch. And there's about 9 or 10 of them right now of doing different things. And the founder of the company, Jay DeWally, started doing it because his mother had MS. And he's a scientist, and he researched it for years, 12 years. And his mother wears this Defend patch.
Yeah.
And she's still here. And she's doing well. And so the patch is sort of like a, go ahead, Kevin.
I have a follow-up question on that. So there's different patches for different issues I may be experiencing?
Yes, like there's a REM patch,
Yep.
which is for sleep.
Okay.
A friend of mine, you can shut me off whenever you say. A friend of mine, she had a job, a good job. She got fired. About a year after that, she calls me up one day, and I'm just thinking, hey, she got a job, good for her.
Yep.
He told me her husband died that night before.
Yep.
Like, oh my God. So I knew her and her husband for a number of years. So we had breakfast and we talked about different things and stuff. And what I noticed was she looked very, very tired.
Yep.
You know, she couldn't sleep and a lot of problems and issues. And then her husband passed away. And so I gave her the REM patch
Yep.
for sleep. I gave it to her on a Thursday. I don't hear anything. On a Saturday afternoon, about 4 o'clock, I got a text from her that said, I took the REM patch and put it on my arm last night, and I slept till 11:30 this morning. Period. Then she says, then I got up and cleaned my whole house. So that, and I just shot her a thumbs up. And then she texted me the next day and she said, OMG, the REM patch rocks.
That's
And
right.
that's that. And it's been very helpful to her in her life.
I have one more question then.
Yes.
You put the patch on, how often do you have to change it, Paul? How long does the patch last?
It's good for 24 hours.
Okay.
You
Yep.
change them every 24 hours.
Okay.
And there's a peace patch, which is if you're stressed out and you're correcting papers at 3 o'clock in the morning,
Yep.
and you wonder why you didn't take up fishing for a living.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good idea. And there's a freedom patch for pain. There's a victory patch which you know, my running days are over. But I wear the victory patch if I'm going to go on an extended walk. It's for athletic ability, you know. And the focus patch is to increase your focus about what you're doing.
Okay.
And the flow patch helps you pay more attention as you go on.
So Paul, how can people reach out to you? How can they learn more about this?
My link, I think I gave you my link, but I can, do you want me to say it or?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
You know what? It's Paul Keenan Future at superpatch.com.
Awesome. Paul, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to call into the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. And I watch those your little clips every time you put them up there. And you know what?